So as more people come, I'll just go ahead and let them in, and I think we should get started.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks to everyone for coming. You got, I mean, I know we have some regulars on here, which is awesome. If any of you guys are new, you're in for a very special treat because normally, and this is a good thing today because I'm not going to be delivering the whole thing. I'm going to introduce a couple rock stars to you guys in the area of both PR and marketing. I know we're talking about referrals was the moniker, the message, the main message, and there's many ways to get that. You're going to get a nice cold water dipper exposure to the orders of magnitude of what can be done because both of these people have great resources and great knowledge base around both public relations and marketing. And I'll do a little quick salvo or entry on that before, or introduction on that before I flip it over to Wendi on referrals. We've been blessed in that, we got trained on both of these subjects, and we worked for Survival Strategies, most of you guys know, for many, many years. I think our first program was in 1997, and it was actually the referral development program. And I tell you guys have seen the promotional video that Survival has put up. I don't know if this one's still up. It used to be up. I just got, this thing has been worth millions to our practice, literally, in gross revenue. I'm not talking just net revenue, but in gross revenue because of the standardization of what we've created here as a team. I was trained first with my wife. She did it very, very part-time. Then we hired a part-time person to do what Wendi does. Then we've had a full-time person. Now we have 3 full-time PR marketing staff in our company. Plus, we use Matt's resources and company for direct response marketing. So we kind of have, would you say we have like four, we have at least four full-time people, Matt? Wouldn't you say that? I mean, equivalents? Yeah.
Easily.
I mean, that's muted right now, but
easily.
Yeah. So there's a big difference between PR and marketing, and I'm sure Matt will differentiate on the marketing side when he comes in, but we built our company on public relations and referral relationship development. And what's the difference? And I'll just give you these are Paul definitions. These are not industry approved definitions, but from a Paul viewpoint, PR is basically what other people say about you. And in our case, it's relationship development. When you develop good relationships with people, hopefully they're saying good things about you. It's much more powerful for a referral source or a community-based source to stand up and say a good thing about your relationship or your experience with your organization or the people in the company. We built Rebound on referral relationship development. Now, marketing is what you tell other people to think about you. You're having to put a message out there that says, this is who we are, this is what we do, these are the results we create, whatever it is that you want to communicate. But the two work really well together. Now, what worked great for Rebound is we did so much great PR for so many years before we even learned about how to market and how to do marketing. And we learned some marketing from Survival Strategies too. We were the old school PR marketing program. So we blended into the marketing. And because we had such good PR in our community and with our referral sources, we took a big hit, a big bump. And Wendi was a part of that. She was a part of the marketing evolution because she runs both our PR and marketing programs in the company. She's over all of that. And we saw a huge bump, and Wendi could tell you that because we had done the public relations. When we went direct to the public with marketing tools, which Matt's going to talk to you about a few of those things that are done. But then it went on. We went to a third level when we started working with Matt during when the pandemic hit, because we went with direct response or direct access marketing, not just broad things that we were putting out with newsletters and emails and snail mail and postcards. And we do a lot of other stuff that you're not even going to hear about today. But when we did that, then another bump. I mean, like 100, we average, like Wendi is like 150 leads a month we get in the direct spot, on average. 150 just on that line. Okay. And all those people don't start, but we're able to do that. But because our PR is good and people can check us out, that it makes our ability to convert those to new business, more people we can help, right? So that's my intro. I'm done. I'm going to leave Wendi at least about 20 minutes here to talk to you about, she's not only the VP of PR and marketing, she is the one that still executes the referral development program or referral relationship development. She's going to talk to you about building relationships with referral sources and community sources, and what are some of the key elements there. In 20 minutes, you're just going to get, like I said, I told before, like a cold water dip. But over to Wendi on what she does, because this woman is a ninja, and I think I would say the best that I've ever, because I've talked to a lot of practice owners, and she lives it and breathes it. But it's because she's trained. I will tell you that she is trained to the nine. She can tell you stories about our training, and in the office that I'm sitting in right now, I'm sitting in the chair she used to sit in, because I gave my chair up here in the building, and she can tell you stories about that. But over to you, Wendi.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you for having me on today. So as Paul mentioned, my name is Wendi, and I am the VP of PR and Marketing here at Rebound Physical Therapy. In July, I will be celebrating my 18th year with Rebound, so super exciting. So 90%, oh, I like that. 90% of my focus, really on a daily basis, is PR. Whether it's, I don't really say it's just in doc offices. I think building those relationships and that PR presence anywhere I go, which is very important. So I don't ever focus just, okay, I got my PR hat on here, and now I'm leaving the doc offices and I take it off. I mean, it's nonstop. And we really, try to emphasize that to all our staff. No, you're always on. So I think it's super important. I will say it's, when I look over my years with Rebound, starting out, because I came from the medical field, so I saw a lot of pharmaceutical reps come in, other vendors, and that's not, I knew what the doctor said about them when they left, the nurses, and that's not what I wanted. So I was super excited to get trained fully when I came to Rebound in the, relationship development program. And I did that, and I've done several refreshers because I'm always learning. There's always something. But I will say what's key too is that Paul was trained in it as well. So because this position, you can't be soft, you take some hard hits. And, I look back and think, gosh, without that training, I wouldn't be here, 18 years later, because you get kicked down a lot. But this training really, it was the key to being able to handle that. So, I've talked to a lot of different individuals in marketing, and that's one of my purposes now, is I want to help individuals, because I know that feeling, there is a way to be successful in this position with, proper training. But back to with Paul. So with Paul being trained, I would come back and be like, oh my gosh, this is what happened. How do and we would drill it and drill it and drill it.
Hey, Wendi, let them know what kind of scenario, just not a sample of what we drilled, but what you would run into out in the offices that were barriers to you getting your result or product that we would tweak, we would correct or handle.
Sure. So there were a lot in the beginning, and not that I don't still get them, because I do, but I can handle them now. But being told, no, we don't set up meetings with PTs or anybody with our doctors. We don't do any meetings. We don't do any type of interactions. We send all our patients to you, when I knew by looking at the referral log that was inaccurate. I'm like, what am I supposed to tell them? Like, I know they're not. So just handling all those type of, or fixed ideas. That was a big one. You walk into an office and they immediately put a, block up, like, oh, she's a pharmaceutical rep, she's selling something. So really fixing those fixed ideas. And then just really building those relationships. When, you go into the offices, I don't sell at all. When we talk about our PTs going into these offices, I'm always like, do not ever mention the word referral. That will come out of this relationship, but please don't I don't want it written in note cards. That word referral, that's not what this is about. You'll end up getting it when you develop this relationship and nurture it. But I mean, the longer I've had these relationships, it's not a work relationship. It is, they know that I work for Rebound. They know what Rebound's about. But, I have bunco groups with doctors. So once a month, I visit with, these doctors, we play game. It's bunco, it's not a real hard game, but I help nurses decorate their Christmas trees. It's just going above and beyond. So really, it's not just about that work relationship. And you have to make it your own. The relationship development program, 1-for-1, that is what has excelled me and excelled Rebound, no doubt about it. But the individual has to kind of put their own tweak on it. And I guess be willing to experience anything. Just know that you've got the tools in the tool bag. I think that's the biggest difference. I don't want to say there's nothing I can't handle, but there is a solution. There's a strategy for everything. Paul created something called the back pocket strategies. And so it's our top strategies that we would use. So not only myself, but our PT. So when they are in an office and maybe the strategy that we had attempted to go in doing doesn't succeed, they can pull, it's literally like something they can keep in their back pocket. I did for a couple months. Not that I'd pull it out and look at it when I was there, but it's very easy strategies. So I think my biggest thing that I want, to get across is staff have to be trained and the owners have to be trained. So it's such a positive experience for the whole clinic and this position. It's so rewarding, but the training is key, 100%. So I don't know what else.
Well, hey, Wendi, let them know what, well, let me say one thing just to clarify on this back pocket strategies things. Those were actual strategies, that survival strategies. It's kind of apropos that that's the name of the company, but I think the referral development program was the alpha. It was the first thing that they offered I'm talking, way back in the beginning when Craig started, delivering, when Craig was a consultant and delivering. Referral relationship development was the thing that therapists needed back then, or owners needed back then, therapists too. But so there's a number of strategies, but I found that there was 5 or 6 that and you got, understand that this what Wendy's talking about, this came after, 100 plus, referral visits by myself with mostly, traditional referral sources, but some community-based ones too. That if you became a master at 5 or 6 of these key strategies, like one of them would be just, we'll call it a get acquainted visit. There's another term for it, but when you're getting acquainted with a referral source, not just a new referral source, any referral source for the first time, when you've literally got a couple of minutes you've got probably 2 to 3 minutes of their attention to nail it. And if what you went in to do, and by the way, if you take advantage of this referral review, you can dive into this for yourself, because it's a very real phenomenon that occurs. When you don't know what to do, you start selling. I will tell you that. And it's the wrong thing to do. You will never differentiate yourself in the mind of a referral source if you do not know how to shift from, maybe you've got a strategy, maybe you just willing to get acquainted with this guy, and he's not a real friendly guy, or he's not real interested in being in communication with you. He's got his mind on his next patient, or the fact that he's behind, or he doesn't even know why you're there. All these things come up, and there will be barriers or objections or things that will come up that will block you. But if you know how to ask that next question, and I have learned from survival strategies, and I've done this with anybody that I've trained in this program, and Wendi and I, she'll probably tell you, we've probably done hours on this one technique. I will drill to the point where you are never stumped, because you know how to ask one more question to get a response to keep the communication going. It's not you saying something fantastic. It's you knowing how to get that person talking because, you know, my number one goal in doing these visits is to find one clearly identified need or want that they're willing to accept my help with. That's it. If I do that, now I have a multitude of strategies to get that question answered, but it's because, you know, we took it and we broke it down and we've drilled for hours in this office, hours and hours and hours. When you get a no or you get no, well, they won't do it. And I'm like, yeah, well, all they did, we just accepted a comment from them. We didn't really handle what they said, you know, and we learned how to shift. So that's what Wendy's talking about. But Wendi, let them know real quick, a week in the life, you know, not necessarily a day in the life, but how many real communications and personal contacts will you make? Not drive-bys, not dropping off an eval, or not, you know, not just going in and saying, hey, but how many engagements on average would you do a week? And then what will that result in regards to, you know, further engagements, whether it's one-on-one meetings or some kind of follow-up action when you find something that they need our help with, right? Give them an idea here, because this will blow your mind, by the way, if you're out doing any form of this in your company now. But go ahead, Wendi.
So on an average, I mean, just if I just take my office visits, on an average is probably 58 to 62 on a weekly basis. That's not including what I do socially with the offices. So, you know, meeting them after work for social hour, or, you know, going to events with them, things like that. So that doesn't include that. That's just solely, I'm going in there for a purpose in the office. But what that, I mean, it's going to sound crazy, but I can almost, because Paul asked me this at least monthly. So what do you think the referrals are going to be this week? What do you think your number's going to be? And I can, within 1 or 2 referrals, I can call that number, just because it's pure intention. And I also know that, you know, because I look at our log, our referral log, numerous times a day. That's how I operate. That's how I know where to go, where I need to be. But I know that I can bring that number up by going into that office, maybe sending a text, and the text will have nothing to do about, hey, I noticed you haven't been sending any patients to us. So, I mean, it's pretty astounding what, I don't want to say what power you can have with this program, but I mean, it's crazy to me. It was a lot crazier in the beginning. Now it's like, oh, I can do this. Like, I know that if I want this number to be this number, I'm going to get it to that number within a couple, and it could be a couple over or a couple under, but within. So, I mean, it's pure intention, attention, and purpose, and the ability. I didn't say anything about observation, but I mean, that's one of the keys that when you go, I mean, you need to observe everything about that individual, that office. It's only going to set you up for success in the future if you know everything you can about that office, the front desk staff, the nurses, the referral clerk, every single person, grant them importance, no matter what position they hold in that office. You know, one thing that was super validating about this program, so it is, I mean, people have said it before, like, it's just, whatever you do is different. And I took kind of a little break to have 2 more babies about 9 years ago. So I decided, hey, I think we need a couple more kids. So I took a couple years off, and a practice that I was going into called me up and said, we're opening another practice in another city. Can you come work for us part-time? And I said, well, let me talk to Paul and see. I said, what are you looking for? And he goes, just whatever you did with our office, whatever that was, we want you to do that for us in Lawrence. So it's just so different. I mean, you are really setting yourself aside in your practice from any other practice. And they won't know what it is or what you're doing, but it will feel and look different to them in a very positive way. So.
Cool. Yeah, I'll tell you, I'll tell you guys metrically speaking, you know, doing whether you manage by statistics or not. I mean, you should be if you're not. And there's help for that too. We have a whole program to get you grooved into that. But you know, while Wendi talked about referrals and she monitors that throughout the day, a referral log. We have a shared file share in the cloud, so she can just see how many and from whom. And now that includes both the you know, the traditional referral sources as well as direct access sources, and then even these leads that come in and convert to consultations with our professional providers. But you know, over the years, while yeah, I mean, we're the subject even of this webinar is referrals. Over the years, while referrals is a major monitor, I can tell you two key things, and this is the essence behind the relationship development aspect of the training, because there's actually three phases to the program. There's a preparatory phase, then there's the relationship development training, and then there's the strategies themselves and implementation. It is very difficult to implement any strategic objective without key basics in place, and that is the relationship development basics. So there's communication training, there's training on how to handle different kinds of people. I tell people all the time, doing referral related, going out in those offices is like going to the zoo. But you're going into their cage. You know, in your office, it's really safe. People come in and see you. You know how to handle patients. You know how to handle, you know, apathetic patients and antagonistic patients and enthusiastic ones and really nice ones. You know, people that are enthusiastic or strongly interested. But when you go out onto their territory, you're in their cage. And you need to know how to handle all the different types of animals you're going to encounter. There's lions and tigers and bears, oh my, and snakes and folks with their head in the sand, ostriches. There's all of that going on. I'm using an analogy. I'm not going to get into the details of what that technology is, because it is actual technology. If you do it, it's like engineering. The definition of engineering, the definition of a truth is something that works 100% of the time. Well, this is a technology that if you do it standardly, it works. You know, all of the time. I mean, if you do it consistently. So we put our attention on two things. You know, while we're looking at referrals, it's almost like you know, while it's a defining product, it's a well-defined product. We look at the number of active referral sources every week, because that tells me how many relationships that we have. But when we go in and visit someone, and Wendi does this with every interaction, she does not count those 58 to 62. Like, she might talk to or meet other people. She doesn't count it unless it was an actual relationship building engagement. And when I go out and do visits, or when our staff goes, I don't do them, you know, locally anymore, because I'm only here 1 week a month. But you know, the hundreds and hundreds of visits that I did, I didn't count it as a visit unless I found that, if I, one of two things, I found that clearly identified a need or want that they were accepting my help with, or if I did not move the relationship forward, if I didn't get the product of an improved relationship with them, then I didn't count it. It wasn't a valid visit if I didn't do all the standard actions to follow up with that person. So that's on the visit side, because you know, Wendi's talking to you about what she does as the in the survivals program, they call it the patient care coordinator. But she does those actions, and she gets the appointment set. Now, Wendi does visits. She's so trained that she can just do the visits. I mean, she can just get in with the doc, and she can walk by five drug reps and go talk to the front desk person, the referral clerk, the nurse, and the doc in one cycle. If you know, with that intention that she's talking about, you got to be super trained to do that, because you may have 4 interactions before you do that. But the ideal scene is you've got someone like myself, or an owner or provider, that does, you know, the actual engagements with professional to professional, peer to peer. And so you really need to have both. And then Wendi, you can bring it home here the last few minutes before I flip it back over to Matt. You know, you can also relate this to how this works with community-based sources, just, you know, because we do a lot of stuff in the community, but you may speak to that briefly, and then we got a couple of minutes and I'll flip it to Matt.
I mean, I would definitely say, I mean, so the referral relationship program, I utilize community, doc office, in my marriage with my kids. So it's very near and dear to my heart. But so with community, Buffy, my assistant, does primarily, so she'll reach out to them and get that. Oh, it's a non-E meeting. So just kind of see what their needs and wants are. The same as what you would do with an office. But we've built that so large, and we're looking, I mean, COVID kind of shut everything. It's silly, but we're kind of getting back into it. So, you know, being involved with the different organizations, you know, whether it's the Heart Association, Arthritis Foundation. So just, I mean, when I say, you know, you're building relationships all the time. So, you know, you definitely want to make a big presence out in the community as well, because, I mean, everyone talks and, you know, you want to be that clinic where they're like, oh yeah, I saw Rebound. They were involved in the Arthritis Foundation walk, right? So we definitely, you know, we try to make it a big impact anywhere we go, which I think is super, super important. So we'll do community events, helping you help yourselves here once a month. We just had our highest ever last month with 116 attendees. So whoop, whoop. So that was really good. We had to use all our chairs from the entire clinic. So, but just that engagement, I mean, that's a free service that we provide to the community to educate them, to, you know, whether it's solutions to get out of pain, or this one was on nutrition. I mean, it just really just enhances those relationships with the community. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely PR. We were super excited. I think I shared that with Matt and Nancy last week immediately when she sent me the video from Wednesday night, because I was in Nashville that night, and 116 people. That is on a Wednesday night for about what, 90 minutes. That's not easy to do. I mean, it's harder than finding the chairs, I'll put it that way. But so kudos to those guys. That's a highest ever. And helping you help yourself, it's just a free workshop, right? And we do them every month like clockwork. We're getting ready to open a clinic in Olathe, Kansas, and I was talking about this. And you know, we're going to have to really go even harder there. We'll probably do a couple of them there a month just to launch and draw public. And Matt's team, this is a good segue. Matt's team helps us drive folks that get scheduled and arrive for what he's going to talk to you about. He drives traffic to our workshops, to our massage therapists, to our wellness campaigns, and then to our physical therapy. So Carrie's sharing right now. If you want to, take advantage, I definitely encourage everybody to take advantage of a referral review. I actually know the guy that does this. Many years ago, I used to do webinars that were a little bit smarter than this, a little more intimate. And Randy, the consultant, really understands the private practice challenges here and what it takes to build a team to do what we're talking about here. So definitely take advantage of that. And anybody that has questions on that, I always make myself available. Anybody wants to talk about referral relations, I mean, me or even better yet, probably Wendi, but I'll talk to you from an owner perspective, what it means and what it really takes. But it is invaluable. What I said before about being $1 million proposition, we know we're going to go into Olathe and slay it. And what Wendi does is going to take a little longer time. What Matt does is going to help us get there faster. So I'm just going to turn it over to Matt Hanses with Uplift Marketing. Well, you guys already know Matt, and he's going to cover the subject of direct response or direct access marketing. So Matt, over to you, my friend.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it. And Wendi, thanks for those insights. That was awesome. I really appreciate that as well. It's good because there's kind of two sides to this. Obviously, there's the PR and referral relationship side, and then what we do is the direct access, the digital marketing side. And I, of course, am going to speak to the digital marketing side, but just a little bit about who I am. So I'm the owner and founder of Uplift Marketing, and we've been working with Rebound for years now in survival strategies. But we're kind of like, we try to be really part of the team. Rebound has built something truly special. And so it's kind of a joy to walk into that. We do a lot of adult outpatient PT marketing. We do, pediatric speech, OT, and PT. and interacting with Paul and Wendi and seeing what it's like to do marketing for someone who's already got the PR in place is amazing, because it's a lot easier to do marketing when someone's already got all the marketing pieces, when they've got all the PR pieces in place, and they've already got the community, and they've got the referral relationships. It's kind of like having the wind at your back. You know, you've got your wind in your sails when you're doing your the marketing, because the PR is already there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about primarily what we do with Rebound, but I'm going to give you guys, this is going to be pretty action packed. Okay. And so I hope you guys are like, you know, maybe have something to write with, take some notes here. I'm going to just give you an overview of what any practice really should be doing for the direct access, direct response, digital marketing side of things. So, now, if you have questions, because it's going to be like drinking from a fire hose. We only have like 20 minutes, and I'm going to give you a bunch of stuff. You can reach out. I'm just going to tell you this right now. Reach out, and I'll do like just a free consult, answer your questions with anyone. I think Carrie dropped it in the link there. So there's a link you guys can grab in the chat. If you have any questions, just go ahead and schedule, book on my calendar. And I can just answer questions, just anything about marketing. You could have a question about, is my website good? Or what should I be doing next? Or anything. I want to make sure that I leave you with your questions answered, because I'm going to go over a lot of information really fast. So make sure that you grab that link, and you can book with me if you have any questions at all as we roll through this. So with no further ado, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen. And I want to make sure that we can see this. Okay. Carrie, can you see this private practice marketing overview? Perfect. Okay. So guys, if we want a shortcut, go ahead and take a screenshot of this slide. Okay. Because this is the shortcut to everything. I'm just going to give you, this is what you need to do. I'm going to walk you through it. But if you do these 6 things, you're going to be all right. So what sort of marketing should a private practice be doing? First of all, you have to have a well-built website, okay? And that there's a lot of best practices that go into that, but your website is the core of your marketing presence on the web. So you will need a really solidly built website done according to industry best practices. Next, number 2, you want excellent search engine optimization, SEO, meaning how well you rank on Google. And there's 2 elements to this, which we're going to talk about. And again, you're probably going to have questions. Hit me up. I can answer them. But here's the thing. You want to rank well in the organic or regular part of Google, as well as you want to rank well on the Google Maps. Okay. So there's 2 elements of this, but ranking well on Google is critical because people are already out there looking for you. They are already looking for your services. And if they find you instead of somebody else, that's automatically just additional direct access referrals you would get, that if you don't rank well on Google, those people are going to go to somewhere else. So the second element is great Google rankings, great SEO. Okay. Now, the third element you're going to want to do is valuable content to your list. This is content marketing. This is providing help and providing information to people that's not just sell, but it's actually building a relationship with your list using marketing, using educational marketing, okay? And part of any therapist's job is actually education, is a role of a therapist. And so if you just kind of think about this as an extension of the therapist's role, is to educate your entire list and educate your community beyond that, you'll understand content marketing. What does content marketing include? Email marketing, videos, blogs, newsletters, etc. Providing value, educating the people that you're connected with. Point 4, you need a social media presence, like at least Facebook and Instagram. Obviously, you can expand out. You can do TikTok and you can do YouTube, but you need some fundamental social media presence because people are following you. Again, these are the people that are in your community. This is how you reach out and you educate and you connect with people beyond your 4 walls. Next, you need regular in-practice events. This is a big deal. You know, Rebound does helping you help yourself. You know, we've got some pediatric practices, they do like sensory Sundays or something like that. But having a situation where you're inviting the community into your practice. So now you're actually connecting with people face to face and you're educating them, even if they're not immediately patients or parents or families or whatever, making sure that you have an environment where the community can come in and they can learn. That automatically positions you as a thought leader. It gets people walking into your practice, and it builds real relationships with the community that you couldn't buy with advertising. You know what I mean? It makes you something very different and very special than just let's generate another lead. So when we're talking about these things, we're talking about sort of organically building a whole machine, a whole marketing machine that works to create a healthy ecosystem for a practice. We're not talking about just how to quick do some advertising that generates something. That's you're going to end up with low quality leads, and it's not going to be great. So after your in practice workshops, you want to look at digital advertising. When we say digital advertising, we mean Google advertising, we mean Facebook advertising, Instagram advertising, YouTube advertising. That kind of thing is what gets the word out. And you use digital ads to really turbocharge things. Okay, so the concept is once you have your basics in place, solid website, great SEO, providing content, you've got social media going, you've got 8 regular in-practice events, then you can really turbocharge. And this is what Rebound is doing. And we just generate with Rebound tons of leads every month, just tons. And these guys are super good. One of the best I've ever seen on the phones. Their follow-up is phenomenal. And so they get good return on investment because they're on the phones and they're working and getting people into the practice constantly from the digital ads. So that right there is your quick overview of what we're talking about and what a private practice needs to be doing for direct access digital marketing. Now, let's unpack that just a bit, okay? Because I want to give you guys some actual practicalities. So when we talk about a great website, here's Rebound's website. What are we talking about? A couple of things we mean here, okay? So we mean, do we have a place for somebody to request an appointment up here? That's what we mean. Do we have adequate conditions of what they treat here? Okay, so each one of these is its own list of conditions. How we treat, meaning like these are the different services kind of provided, okay? These are all important, and each one of these needs to be, pretty in depth, So we want to have enough content here to actually provide enough for both Google and for visitors to really be able to see what this is about. So having enough content on the website is important. We've got some really great great videos here, which talk a little bit about each of these things. That's a nice value add if you can actually put videos about your services on your services pages. Here's a video about sports performance, and it's right there, and it's a small, minute 20 seconds on sports performance. That's super valuable because people don't have to read the page; they can just watch the video. So there's a lot that goes into what makes a great website. I will tell you, you need the things that go into making a great website are marketing strategy, great copywriting, like the text itself, good design. You want high quality design that is attractive. Okay. You want your search engine optimization built in. So you want SEO, you want to have those keywords built in. You need to be thinking with those keywords from the start and SEO best practices. And then you need the actual development part. That's the 5th element, which is you need to make sure that you have the actual programming and turning this pretty website into a actual functioning thing on the web. So building a website is a lot like building a house. You don't just hire a carpenter. What you're doing is you're actually building, you're bringing together a number of different trades. So you're bringing together your search engine optimization expert, you're bringing together your copywriter, you're bringing together your graphic designer, you're bringing together your marketing strategist and the person doing the computer code. And that's what makes a high quality website, all those pieces together. Then you end up with something that is like high quality because it converts traffic, it is attractive, it represents the practice well, it ranks well on Google. And a website really has to do all those things. Now, real quick, I'm just going to give you, if you want a quick analysis of your own website, there's a little link you can go to. It's called the 10-minute website analysis. It's on my website, and it gives you some questions to ask yourself about your website. Okay. So it kind of says, hey, in fact, I'm going to go ahead and drop this. There's your 10-minute website analysis. I'm putting it right there in the chat. Okay. So if you have a question about it, go there. It'll give you these different points that you can look at your own website. And I want to give you guys something actionable. You can just kind of go to that link I just dropped, copy that link. And then after we're done today, go through and check those out for yourself and go, hey, how does my website stack up? So that's the first element. There's a lot of detail that goes to a website, but that's a real fast overview of what you should be looking for on a website and how you can check your own website out. Next, I want to talk about search engine optimization. So there's two different types of search engine optimization. And this is just Physical Therapist Topeka, Kansas. Okay. Up here, we have maps. This is ranking. This section is what we call the Google Business Profile rankings, or the map pack. So this is the things that rank up here, and we're just looking at Rebound here, is when I click on this, the thing that happens is you see their Google Business Profile gets pulled up. So how great your Google Business Profile is optimized, your reviews, et cetera, will mean how high you rank in the maps or places. Okay, so that's one type of search engine optimization. The other type is down below. This right here is called the organic rankings. When I click on this, I don't get a Google Business Profile. What I get is the website. So I just clicked on that link and I got the website. So down below, we call organic rankings. The organic rankings rank websites. And up here in the maps, we rank the Google Business Profile. Now, obviously, you want to be in the top 3, which Rebound is, for everything. Why? Because how many people are realistically going to type in whatever your business is here, whatever the practice is, and then go down here and click on more places, and then go down here and get way down into the bottom here? It's not going to happen. So if your practice is not in the top 3, you're losing referrals instantaneously. And this is like one of the easiest ways to get referrals, because this is all just natural traffic that's coming to you. Okay. So making sure that you're doing best practices for search engine optimization is critical. Okay. Now I'm going to give you an additional tool you can use. And I showed this to people on a Lemonade not too long ago. This is a local search results checker. Okay. So I'm going to show you how this works. Let me post this first in the chat for you. Okay. So you guys should copy this and use this link, because what you can do is if you grab this link, you can then use this to check out your own rankings. And there's, again, 2 different types of things we're going to look at here. So what I would do is I would type in, like, for instance, pediatric occupational therapist, and you put in that word there. I'm just going to show you how to use this. Okay. Then what you can do is you put in your location, San Diego, or you could put in a zip code, either way. And then you choose, do you want to look at Google search or do you want to look at Google Maps? I'm going to show you the difference between both. So this gives you click search and you click on, you pick one of these pages. And this is, what happens is now I'm looking at this as though I'm sitting in San Diego. Okay. I now am seeing what is ranking as though I'm in San Diego. And even though I'm not, right now I'm sitting in St. Louis, Missouri, this tool will allow me to look at how I rank from there. And so you can kind of see, okay, Kara Dodds is #1 for pediatric occupational therapy. Great. And then you can kind of see, there's Radiant Kids. Oh, there you go. There's Laura. So, and so on. That's #2 for San Diego. Woo, that's hot. That's actually great. That's stellar, actually. So because San Diego, that's a big search. Look at that. There's the website. Good job. So what you want, we built that website. Anyway, so pediatric occupational therapist, San Diego. Then what you want to do, I'm going to show you, that's how you look at the organic rankings. Here's how you look at your map rankings, okay? You go here, pediatric occupational therapist, and let's type in San Diego again. And you go to Google Maps. You click this button this time, okay? Now you go to this one. Click check search results. Go to page 1. And you can see now what we're doing is we're seeing what are the top ranking Google business profiles, not what are the top ranking websites. And you can see, you can count down, where is this person ranking in terms of where is each practice ranking? And if they're not ranking high, that means they need to do things to improve not their website rankings, but their Google business profile rankings. And there's a whole subject there. So big topic. If you have questions, grab my link later. I can answer your questions. I know this is a lot. We got to roll on here because we don't have a lot of time. But those are tools you can immediately use if you copy those tools to check yourself out, see how you're doing. Now, next, let's talk about content marketing. Okay, this is what we do with Rebound right here. So we create an email newsletter that goes out, and it provides valuable content. This goes out to the list. This helps people on the list kind of develop that relationship and not be like, oh, I don't want to hear from Rebound anymore. I'm getting too much emails and stuff like that. This allows you to provide value that they're looking for. They want this stuff. They're like, hey, thank you for sending it. Okay. So you can see it does have a little bit of like, schedule your free physical therapy screening, the power of physical therapy. Here's our latest articles, but we always lead with a actual article that's valuable to the practice. And if I click on that link, it takes me right to the website. Okay. And there's a whole article from Paul on here. I mean, we write the article, but it's all Paul's content. And I'll show you, you can click right there on his website. This is on his blog. You can click on here and you can see the video. I'll just give you a minute to kind of watch this video.
Hi, I'm Paul Solowski, physical therapist and owner of Rebound Physical Therapy. And today I want to talk to you about safe lifting mechanics to protect your back. Listen, low back pain is probably the #1 thing we see as physical therapists, not only here at Rebound, but I think across the nation. Most outpatient orthopedic clinics, you're going to see a lot of back and neck pain. So prevention is key. So I want to go over some of the structures that we see getting involved because of faulty lift mechanics. Now, my friend Bones here doesn't have muscular.
So this is like valuable. There's a whole article on this. And Paul's like providing like valuable, interesting content. Every practice should be providing valuable, interesting videos that actually like help people dispel mystery, overcome barriers, provide something that's interesting to people. And that helps you to develop that relationship and also helps you become a thought leader for your particular area. Okay, so you send out an email newsletter. The email newsletter directs people to your, you do that multiple times per month. It directs people to your blog. On your blog, you've got your video right there. This is really important in terms of helping build that relationship. Prevent self-discharge, keep people referring their friends and family, coming back, etc. Okay, next, you want high quality social media content. You can see Rebound social media content, tips before surgery. You can see why you shouldn't ignore shoulder pain. Here's a success. They're not just putting out, here's their latest newsletter. They're not just putting out in this day in history or something cute. They're giving testimonials, they're giving valuable content, et cetera, on social media. Okay, so that's your next example of what that looks like. And you can really do this. You can put reels together. You can do a lot of good stuff that helps with this to provide valuable social media content. But that's a key. Next, moving on. We don't have a lot of time. In-practice events. This is the event that Wendi was talking about. Look at this. It's stellar, right? This is just one of the things. So they send out emails. We run ads to them. They invite people into practice, and the community comes in, and here she is, and the community actually comes in to be educated, and that's like I said, like over 100 attendees, which is incredible. That kind of it's not, they don't get that every single time, but just having those kind of opportunities for the people to come in, that's huge. We do like sensory Sundays for pediatric private practices or something like that. Similar vibe. This is helping you help yourself, but having advertising heavily for the community is key. Now, finally, I just want to kind of go over how advertising does work and how ads work, because we do digital ads. So what we do is we'll run an ad on Facebook. Okay, this is moving on to the last step, is ads. Okay, we'll run an ad on Facebook. Free screening, right? The person clicks on the ad because they're interested. They're taken to a lead form. They then sign up. First name, last name, what I'm running into, et cetera. They then go to a thank you page to schedule their appointment, and they get a text message that automatically says, hey, thanks, you just signed up. Click here to schedule your appointment. And then they get an email that reminds them, hey, you just signed up. Thanks for reaching out. And then that lead, that reach, that response then goes on a spreadsheet, okay? And that spreadsheet allows us to, allows the office, Buffy, to follow up and call these people back and get them all scheduled. So, and the office is, of course, notified every time a lead comes in, okay? So that's an example of Facebook advertising. And then we have Google Ads is another example where at the top of Google, we have, hey, schedule an appointment for Rebound physical therapy. So when somebody types in physical therapy near me or physical therapist, we automatically have the top spot there using our Google Ads. And then they're taken to a landing page where they can sign up. There's a lot more that we could talk about here in terms of the digital ad side of things. But I will tell you that that we run ads for massage. We run ads for those, helping you help yourself workshops. We run ads for screenings, et cetera. And so there's just all these ads going on in the community constantly, which just turbocharges and really gets the reach way out there. So to recap, we basically start with the website. We kind of like to go back to this. You have a well-built website, excellent SEO. So you've got people finding you naturally. Then you expand out into valuable content. You're sharing things on social media, hosting in-practice events, and then you turbocharge it with digital ads, and then you just reach hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people. So that is again, if you guys have any questions, I'll drop my link in there, just that you guys have that. That's an overview, though, of, and I know there's a lot that I just dropped there. That's a fast 20-minute overview of what you would do for direct access for any practice. So, Paul, did I miss anything? I think I got it in 20 minutes. I think that's the basic.
Dude, I'm impressed. We started at 32. You started at 11:32, and both of you guys nailed it and covered good stuff. Obviously, happy to field any questions if anybody wants to type anything in. It's actually probably best in this scenario if guys just reach directly to Matt or Randy on the quick, because if it's a free review, free service. Wendi and I are always available. We don't have a lot of time for questions right now, although we could field one or two things. If folks have a couple of things that we need to clarify or you got questions on, happy to do that. We've got a couple minutes here to respect your time, but I just want to open up. Carrie, anything else you guys need to cover from your end?
Just that I'm posting a bunch of links, some to Matt, some to you for your email if any owners wanted to reach out to you directly, Paul. The upcoming conference, how to do that, review of your referrals with one of our experts, and then the upcoming conference. Oh, and also launching the poll.
Hey, I'll be talking. I was texting Wendi, by the way, Matt. We got to make sure we got to jump up over Restore there and get our. We got to go number one. I don't like being in the top three, but Wendi and I are like, oh dang, it's funny. What I looked, we've got a lot more reviews on Facebook than we do Google, so we definitely get another surge of Google reviews up. I saw that. That would help us out, right?
100%. We could talk
Yeah.
all about that too. Yeah, definitely the reviews help boost anybody on Google for sure.
Yeah, because we have twice as many on Facebook than we do. So we obviously have a lot more engagement on Facebook right now than we have people going to Google ads, but
Right.
yeah, Google reviews.
Yep.
We could also open it up if anyone wanted to ask you questions while we have you for the next moment.
Yeah, anybody can. I mean, turn your screen on and your unmute yourself and ask. I'd love to see faces and engagement. Where this is relationship development and marketing, man. This is you got to make yourself omnipresent. We're happy to engage.
I do have a question. This is just from being not a practice owner, but and I know we have all different size practices on today. We have peds, we have adult, we have staff, and they're all different sizes. What should be kind of a marker for their referrals? Like, what would be good for a practice that sees 30 visits? What would be good for a practice? I don't even know if you can define that because you guys have exploded in size and reach.
Yeah, we've always built it around. I mean, there's definitely a variable conversion from the number of referrals to the actual evals, but for us, it's based on staffing, right? I mean, here's the deal. We know that our therapists need to see a certain number of evals per week based upon our average visits per new patient or per evaluation. So you really back into it from that. You look at your staffing capacity and how many starts that you need, and then every clinic will have some kind of a conversion ratio on their referrals to their evals. I can tell you that we convert a higher percentage of direct access referrals, like friends and family referrals, or direct folks that are boomeranging back to us, and the doc referrals is a little higher conversion. It's quite a bit. I shouldn't say a little bit, but we're getting better on, like Matt said, on handling those leads that come in. But there's a little bit more work converting a organic lead than there is someone that's been referred to you by another. If someone, they know, like, and trust has sent them, we convert a higher percentage of those. But as far as raw numbers, our therapists average about 6 or 7 evals a week. So that's what we need. We need that many starts against our PTs. Now we use PTAs so we can absorb even more visits, but we know what that number is, and we know where it needs to be for us to be viable going forward. And as we have providers, the demand for that goes up. When we open in Kansas City, the demand's going to go way up for Wendi and the team, to drive brand new public. And Matt, I mean, he's waiting for me to sign the lease, dude. It's like, it's going to be, I'm going to get a lease today. As soon as I sign the lease, then we go into action with Matt, like, immediately. He wants to go into action that day, right, Matt? We're going, like, we're going stealth and nuclear on stealth mode on the marketing, and we're going, Wendy's going to hit the ground and start doing surveys and getting out, in Olathe. So, because we know the exact number we need to hit to open the door. We want to have the people waiting when we open the door. We actually will. We'll have people ready to start when we open the door.
Wow, that's amazing. You've really created that infrastructure and that knowing how to hit those goals and really how to make it happen. That's amazing. I love it.
Yeah, you aren't the effect of what's going on out there in the environment, which is, we don't want to leave it up to someone else.
Wow.
And Matt will tell you this. I mean, on the PR side, yeah, you build those relationships. Those people get who you are, and they say good things about you, and you do your good works, and they talk about it. But on the marketing side, you have to get their attention. You have to get their attention and to get them into action. And that's our responsibility to make some noise, rise above the noise, as David Breyer would say, a branding expert. Yeah,
Well, I love
differentiate.
that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just going to say, I love that Matt is the expert. Him and his team are definitely the experts in rising above the noise and knowing how to get your message across and drive in that interest, spark the demand. I
For
love it.
sure. Well, good. Hey, thanks, guys. And thanks to Matt and Wendi for helping out so much. You guys are awesome, as always.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you,
Thank-
Paul.
Bet.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for having us. All right. See you next time.